let's get into this Jared Goff. Like you said, MVP talk from everybody.
Yeah.
It's coming from all over. Like Stick said, there's one thing that I agree with them on. If you are a Jared Goff supporter, you don't have to say anything to defend him anymore because everybody is saying it, from Stephen A. Smith to former greats in the NFL right now, that this guy is one of your top, if not the top, MVP candidate in the NFL right now, Flannel.
Oh, yes. And before I go, this is where I want to, maybe break the usual patterns. I want to hear from a couple other people. I'm going to go with you, JB, first.
What's up?
Is Jared Goff the MVP of the NFL right now?
I'm looking at you.
You got to put the pressure on me this early with this one.
Give me fired up.
I'm not going to say he's the front runner, but he is right behind Lamar Jackson, at least in my opinion.
All right, that's a lighter spark. That's a lighter flame.
Yeah, like he's accomplished a lot so far in the season, but there's just something about Lamar Jackson that right now I think this Ravens team is very tough, and just the things that you see Lamar Jackson do on the field. Obviously, Jared Goff's not going to do the same things. Just he doesn't have that right set of skill set, but at the same time, he does have the weapons and the opportunity for a chance to be MVP. But that all depends on his next couple performances in the next upcoming games as well, too. But as of right now, it's still Lamar Jackson for me, but still close second. Close second is Jared Goff.
I like what you're saying there, too. I know that there's also another player that is starting to kind of creep up some charts, too, that we're going to talk about. And one of the things that when I talk about and I hear MVP, it's also about how you rising and helping your team elevate beyond adversity. So I do agree with you, JB, that it's going to be obviously about how they move on from here. But I do believe that whatever Jared Goff and the other individual we'll talk about later do, I think it also needs to be viewed through the lens of they lost their best player, too.
Yeah.
Everything that they're going to do from this point forward is going to be pulling this team beyond a huge loss of Aiden Hutchinson.
Well, that's kind of the effed up thing, because I don't think there's anybody that the Lions are going to get, unless, of course, if it's Crosby or Garrett, that's going to make the defense as good as it was when Aiden Hutchinson was there. However, that means that it also kind of opens up an opportunity for Jared Goff to have the I'm playing so well and the offense is playing so well, even though our defense lost its best player and it's not top 10 anymore. That's a nice little narrative in Jared Goff's favor in terms of his MVP race. I want to get your opinion, KG. Is Jared Goff the NFL's MVP right now?
Not right now, but he is right behind Lamar Jackson. I agree with JB wholeheartedly. While Jared Goff has been the better passer of the two, it's the fact that Lamar is a good passer this year in particular, and he can do it with his legs as well. Also, they are the best team in the AFC as it stands right now. So I think it's a neck and neck race between him and Lamar right now, and in the coming weeks will be the separator, as to who is the better of the two players. But right now, I do got to put Lamar Jackson above Jared Goff just slightly, though.
Yeah, and that is fair. That's very fair. As much as me personally, if I had to vote, I don't care. I'm still, hey, Jared Goff.
I hear
there you
you.
go, my boy. But you guys are right. But I am very comfortable with where this team is moving forward with Jared Goff. Coming from a standpoint when we first got him, really questioning who he was going to be. That first season, it was like, man, that was tough. But you could start to see a little bit of the identity towards the end of that year. And now seeing where Jared Goff is, the organization has consistently stated, we believe in Jared Goff. He's good enough for Detroit.
As they should.
He can make any pass that we would ask him to. And we've seen him. We thought, can he throw it deep? We've seen him throw it deep. We've seen him overthrow J-Mo. So it's just like, you know what? This is a guy who not just is cashing in on what people said he is, but he's taking what they're giving him and he's going even further with that. And it's cool to hear Dan Campbell talk about him as it relates to his time around Drew Brees as well, and saying that Jared Goff has a lot of Drew Brees in him. So the measurables, the speed, and all that, that's not throw that out the window when you're talking about a quarterback like Jared Goff.
And I think it's being understated that he has really elevated his game this year. Like, if I look back at his past Lions stats, his completion percentage is 62% in his first year, or 67, my bad. 67 his first year, 65 his second year, 67 in 2023. This year, 73.6. This guy is absolutely elevating his game right now, playing probably the most efficient, clean football we have ever seen him play. So for that reason alone, I would maybe give him the edge. If you wanted to give him an edge in a certain category, it's the fact that he is playing the cleanest football that he's probably ever played in his not only Lions career, but his career in general.
We will knock on that wood because the last time we talked about that,
what you do?
we will knock on the wood. Knock on wood.
Yeah, he knocking on something.
Because the last time people made a big fuss about how clean he played football, we saw him go through a little stretch there where the interceptions began to become a problem. So I just had to make sure that we get that mojo out of there. I see that there's a quarterback. Obviously, this is not in order, but there's one Patrick Mahomes up there, and John F. and Laura says, so no Mahomes for MVP, Flannel?
Jesus Christ. No, obviously, obviously, I know everybody's going to stare smack dab at me. No, Patrick Mahomes does not deserve to be an MVP conversation right now, and he certainly doesn't deserve to be the front runner. What he does deserve is all of the grace in the world because of what he's already accomplished and the fact that the Chiefs are still undefeated. But as far as this year, if you have 6 touchdowns, 8 picks, you honestly should be below everybody on this list despite the fact that you are 6-0. So how's that for objectivity? However, the Shaquille O'Neal, who I've had a more adversarial relationship lately, I think brings up a spectacular point. I love Goff, but we just gonna ignore Josh Allen. And before I get to Josh Allen, I want to say this. The fact that Jared Goff is even in the conversation, it's a testament to how well he's played. It's a testament to the fact that in the last 3 games, he's had one of the greatest stretches of quarterbacking we've ever seen. 140 passer rating in 3 consecutive games. Absolutely unbelievable. The offense has looked like a well-oiled machine. He's second in the NFL in passer rating, first in yards per attempt. The Lions are the number 1 seed in the NFC. He has a case. Yeah. A phenomenal case.
John F. and Laura says he's proud of you, Flannel.
Well, thank you.
Oh, I saw something else. I saw something else in there. Wipe your knees off, Sam.
Oh, my God. The duality of our chat family, huh, Flannel?
I literally just said that Patrick Mahomes shouldn't even be in the top 8.
I know.
Good Lord.
Doesn't matter what I say.
Dog.
Hey, man.
It's the North and South Pole in our chat.
It doesn't matter what I say. However, to me, I've got Jared Goff 3rd in the MVP voting. I've got him behind Lamar Jackson, and I have him behind Josh Allen.
What's up with you and just disagreeing with Hall of Famers, man? Hey, look, Teddy Bruschi on Jared Goff. The numbers don't lie. This guy is the leader in the clubhouse for MVP conversation.
And Teddy Bruschi don't never show the Lions love, so you know that's real.
All right, I'll let you go, Chase. Go ahead, Chase. Go ahead.
Thanks for letting me talk.
Go ahead.
You're good. I was gonna say I think Jared Goff should be the favorite for the MVP. You guys have brought up Lamar Jackson from the booth, KG and JB, but it's the most valuable player is the award. If you take Lamar Jackson off the Ravens, they still have the leading rusher in the NFL with Derrick Henry. So, I think you have 2 very good players on that Ravens offense that help make each other so powerful and dynamic. I think Jared Goff, as you said, he has the numbers passing wise to back up what he's doing. I know Lamar Jackson has more yards on the season, but Jared Goff's been more efficient.
You know what? Neil is already hot. Shout out to the Golden Voice, Neil Rule in the chat. Y'all better make sure y'all tap into Big D Energy 11-1 on Woodward Sports. He says Goff is in the middle of the greatest 4-game stretch of QB play in NFL history. We 6 games into the season. That's SZN. If he's not the NFL MVP right now, then he never will be in your eyes. So maybe you the problem.
So that's totally false. Not the 4-game stretch. That's true. However, it's about the full season.
Bro, he got into the Hall of Fame.
And
his jersey.
No, and he might be a Hall of Fame quarterback when it's all said and done. I think the Lions will win the Super Bowl within the next few years, and that would make him a Hall of Fame quarterback. But to me, you look at Lamar Jackson. I just want to say this. 15 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, first in the NFL in quarterback rating, second in QBR, while also being 11th in the entire NFL in rushing yards. Yep. And it's despite having a bottom 10 defense this year. When you think Ravens defense, you think good. But this year, they've had some performances that haven't been so great, like that game against Cincinnati where Lamar Jackson just basically had to save them, or even the couple that he lost in Kansas City and against Las Vegas. I think Lamar Jackson is number 1 right now, and I don't understand why people aren't even mentioning Josh Allen, because He's
balling. He's 3rd on my list.
And that's fine. But to me, Josh Allen, in terms of what's around him, is doing the most with less. All I ever heard about before this season, when people were, I think, disrespecting him, is that Josh Allen's a turnover machine. How do you like 15 total touchdowns and no interceptions? How do you like that? How do you like the fact that he's doing it despite losing Gabe Davis and losing Stephon Diggs and his leading receiver being a rookie, albeit a very good rookie in Keon Coleman? How about the fact that the Bills are 19th in the NFL in rushing yards? And Josh Allen is actually a part of it. So when you talk about MVP vote, I think if you gave it to Lamar, if you gave it to Josh Allen, if you gave it to Jared Goff, that they would all be deserving. But to me, with Josh Allen, what puts him ahead of Goff, and it's splitting hairs, is that he does the most with less. I think he has the worst offensive line. By the numbers, he has the worst running game, and he has the worst weapons. And all I heard about before the season is that, oh my God, the Bills were in cap hell. They had to get rid of every single, a bunch of their good players. But it didn't matter because Josh Allen is just that good. And the defense, to their credit, they've held up despite losing a lot of players. So to me, I've got Lamar 1, Josh Allen 2, and then Jared Goff 3, and they've all had spectacular seasons.
And Sam, I do agree with you, and I got to eat some crow too, because I was one of those naysayers against Josh Allen until I had to see it. So, and now he does have a receiver, but ultimately he's benefited from also having a better run game this year. And normally they give the MVP award to the best QB on the best team. So that's why I would put Jared Goff ahead of him at this point, because the Lions are just simply a better team at this point.
But the Bills are 5-2 though.
I hear you. But would you not argue that the Lions are the better team?
Yeah, but it also is a testament to what Josh Allen is doing in terms of doing more with less.
Like I said, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I eat crow on that. But overall, the Ravens are the best team in the AFC, at least to this point.
Which is why I have Lamar ahead of him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I would put Jared Goff ahead of Josh Allen at this point, only because he's the best quarterback on the best team in the NFC.
Fair. Yeah, and right now, to that point, that's exceeding expectation a little bit, especially when you do factor in they played a game and a half without Aiden Hutchinson, and they did pretty well. That offense is looking like a well-oiled machine, and I do believe that I wish there was some ways to really, really quantify the Jared Goff effect on this Detroit Lions team, because if it doesn't look flashy, it feels like he's not going to get the presses. You know, people will instantly go to what he has. He has the weapons. I push back just a little bit because people thought that David Montgomery was dead before he got here. A lot of the weapons he has are homegrown or were fourth round.
That's a fact. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, at what point in time? Because if this was other quarterbacks, they would say that quarterback is making those receivers. That quarterback is the reason why this is happening. We're seeing Jared Goff put the ball on the dot. That's what we're seeing. We're seeing Jared Goff do things to put this team in position to have a chance to win. And I do wonder if they would have won that game against the Buccaneers, how does this thing look? If all things are the same, all
then he's probably the front runner.
He's undefeated. But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, if he's undefeated right now, I do believe that he's the clear cut front runner. But that's when I say, like, is it just because he has an undefeated record, or you know what I'm saying? Like, why all of a sudden is that what elevates him, and not when we just look at the fact that he is leading this team. And he is elevating this team. And he's doing it with largely homegrown talent and some wide receivers scrapped up off the scrap heap. That's what he's doing right now. While Sam Laporta is not even getting off. Tim Patrick was scrapped off the scrap heap.
And Sam Laporta are not the scrap
You believed in J-Mo?
He's number 12 overall
I'm talking about what did they come into the season having sure. We all talked about the fact that, hey, listen, I'm going to stay consistent. All offseason, I told you guys my biggest question mark with the team was the receiving game. And right now, we still sit here with J-Mo now being a big question mark and Sam Laporta having not gotten off. And we're like, yay, Tim Patrick. That's where we're at right now. That's what if we're being for real, we're really doing that. And that's why I do push back when people say, oh, look at all the weapons. So how much credit does he get as the quarterback and the leader of this team for making those weapons go?
He gets a lot. That's why he's third in my MVP voting against two players who have also had spectacular seasons. Yeah. Like, what more do you want from me? What more praise do you want? That's all that I'm saying, is that Jared Goff has been spectacular. Spectacular. He's in the race. And if you want me to respond a little bit to the whole, if they would have been undefeated, Neil Rule brings up the great 4-game stretch, the greatest in quarterback history in terms of by the numbers. But one of the biggest reasons why they are not undefeated, why they lost that Bucs game, is because Jared Goff did not play well.
Yep, there it is.
This is the MVP. This isn't, is he the franchise quarterback? Does he deserve to be paid? We're talking about the MVP of the National Football League. You have to nitpick slightly, especially, I mean, do I have to say it again? Josh Allen, the turnover machine, no picks.
Why don't you nitpick your boy Patrick Mahomes like that?
What's up?
Why don't you nitpick your boy Patrick Mahomes like that?
I said he doesn't deserve to be in the MVP race, Chase. Do you have ears? Do you have ears? I said that at the beginning. Do you have ears? Or do you just choose not to listen?
I mean, I just hear you're always tearing apart all these Lions players. You never come at Patrick Mahomes like that.
I'm never. When am I tearing?
Get on him, Chase.
Am I tearing apart a Lions?
Get on him.
Do you think I'm tearing apart Jared Goff right now because I don't have him number one? Are you really going to be that crazy? I literally said he's spectacular and he's top 3 in the MVP voting.
Yeah, but you always find some silver line, like this, like but that you throw in there, like this backhanded, like he's good, but but there's never like that with Patrick Mahomes and the
because
Chiefs.
Patrick Mahomes is a 3-time Super Bowl MVP and a 2-time
He's got his
MVP.
nuts on your chin.
Okay, fine, because he is the best quarterback who has ever walked Earth. That's the facts.
Tom Brady says something different.
Tom Brady has had a better resume. I'm talking about better instead of playing a quarterback instead of a per game basis.
What happened when Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes played in the playoffs?
I mean, Patrick.
They lost.
Hey, hold on. You're right, but remember that if D Ford
remember what I just said? It's always like you say something complimentary, but there's a but in there. You backhand it with something else.
What do you mean? But
you're right. But I gotta find some way to still defend Patrick Mahomes and somehow find a way to keep his nuts on my chin.
Hey, did Tom Brady, did he or did he not throw a game-losing interception that was negated by D Ford being offsides? Did he or did he not?
It didn't happen. No, they didn't lose the game off of that.
Okay,
no.
fine, but it should have. I'm just saying. And do you really think that Patrick Mahomes, do you really think that he should be nitpicked right now? He is the best player in the NFL right now. Maybe not this season, but in terms of what he has done.
So he should be the MVP if he's the best player in the NFL
right now. No,
I'm
talking about in terms of all encompassing.
But you just said he's the best player in the NFL right now. So he should be the MVP.
Because he still is.
He should be the MVP
because
then, right?
it's not just about this year, dude.
Why isn't he the MVP?
Because he doesn't deserve it this year.
So he's not the best player in the NFL.
He is the best player in the NFL.
Then he should be the MVP.
No. What are you talking about? Do you judge everything just by one year?
I'm just using your measurement, that like the words that you just said, as your measurement stick.
Your words.
And that's why I asked the question,
dude.
though.
You know
it's
what?
like if he was undefeated, then all of a sudden it's,
dude.
hey, we're just giving him the MVP trophy.
Fighters to your corners. To your corners.
For me personally, I've been fighting this fight for the last 2 years as a stubborn individual who really didn't want to believe in Jared Goff. But I continue to hear these guys like Dan Campbell and other people talk about like, no, he's the guy. And then when all of a sudden the Lions start to win, even before Amon-Ra is the Amon-Ra that we know today, it's always somebody or some other reason. And what I've consistently heard from people up until right now is that Jared Goff ain't the guy. Jared Goff never going to be the guy. Jared Goff just can't get it done. I ask people why. Is it because he just doesn't look the way you want him to look as a quarterback? Like, that's my thing. Like, does he need curly hair? Does he need dreads? Does he need to be 6'2"? Does he need to be able to run a 4.1 40? Does he need to be able to beat Cat Williams in the 40? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, how does it need to look for you? Because I believe that we've seen games where if the Detroit Lions need Jared Goff to go out there and put up 300-plus yards, he got into shootouts and they won those games. They play a more managed style of game. Everybody eats. His numbers, to me, sometimes are a little bit more pedestrian, but the effect that he has on the game is something that I believe is often giving credit to everybody else. It's his weapons, it's Ben Johnson, it's this, it's that. That's what I'm talking about. So if the whole narrative flips, if all of a sudden they're undefeated, but nothing else changes from the way that they play, they just found a way to stop Baker Mayfield from juking them out there jock straps to get the touchdown. All of a sudden he's an MVP. That's why I was asking that question, because I'm just wondering what's the criteria here.
I mean, but I keep going back to this. I've got him third.
Yeah,
he is a deserving
fair.
MVP candidate.
That's fair.
Like, I'm not. If you think I'm hating on Goff, then I'll never win. Yeah. Then I'll never win with you people.
I didn't think you were hating on him.
Chase,
I was asking more of a technical question just to understand how people are saying, because we got people who are saying he is the top person. We're hearing that, but we also hear other people say, no, he's not. And they will bring up either stats, they will bring up teams that have worse records. That's what I'm saying. So what is exactly the criteria? Because to me, I feel like no matter what the goalpost is, if Jared Goff is on target, it's always going to move somehow. That's what I'm saying. What does he have to do to be able for people to say, you know what? That's the guy. He's doing things we've never seen another quarterback do. No matter how fancy the stats might have looked from other people, we just couldn't string together nothing, and we couldn't play clean football. For every yard that I saw Matthew Stafford throw, and it was a lot of yards over them seasons, please give me the stretches of clean football. But we can't really quantify that. Like, people are like, well, yeah, he played clean, but he didn't get a lot of yards. Well, you only get yards but throw away possessions? So that's what I'm saying. When I quantify the effect that Jared Goff has on a game, I just feel like he's underrated a lot. Yeah. A lot.
That's fair.
We're starting to see that more with the success that he's having with the Detroit Lions.
No, and that's fair. And I'm glad to see him get this love. And I don't mind if anybody has a number one. And for the record, Chase, how many quarterbacks in NFL history have multiple Super Bowl MVPs and multiple regular season MVPs? You don't know, do you, Chase? You don't. Who has the greatest postseason quarterback rating of all time?
All I have to say to this is never argue with a fool, because from a distance, no one can tell the difference.
What the fuck are you talking about? You just say a bunch of nonsense, and then the chat will suck your dick because everybody hates me, and that's fine. That's just a bunch of nonsense. Woo! You just say a bunch of nonsense because you are acting like. Would you rather have Jared Goff as your quarterback than Patrick Mahomes?
All I said was Jared Goff was playing like the MVP. And
he is. He's playing like an MVP candidate.
Yeah.
And you wanted to shit on me because I actually said that Patrick Mahomes didn't deserve to be in the MVP conversation.
He was the best player in the NFL. And I said he should be the MVP.
Because it's not just based upon what you do in 1 year. Patrick Mahomes still has that grace until somebody... Like, if Lamar Jackson wins a Super Bowl MVP this year and an MVP, he might take over that mantle.
Again, my point was how much you go to bat and defend Patrick Mahomes. You die on that shield. But I don't think you do that for any Lions, Tigers, Red Wings, or Pistons player.
Because he is certainly the greatest quarterback of this. He's the second best quarterback who ever lived.
And you don't deny that at all. You don't deny that you would stand up for Patrick Mahomes versus any Detroit athlete ever.
I've stood up for a lot of Detroit athletes. I've stood up for Aiden Hutchinson, Riley Green, Cade Cunningham today.
You're still skirting the answer.
What are you talking about? I'm giving you an answer. Who's ridden harder for Aiden Hutchinson at this network than Flannel Sam?
Nobody's ridden.
Who the fuck has done it, Chase? You can't answer that because you're a pussy. Because you're a fucking pussy.
Whoa.
You just come here to antagonize.
Clean break.
To your corner, fighter.
$5 super chat. Sam and Chase are the Aristotle and Plato of Woodward, arguing over force. Hey,
disrespectful little pussy.
Can we get in the chat? Where do the people believe Jared Goff is? Jared Goff MVP. Is he the leader? Second, third, fourth? Let's get that going.
Damn.